everyone. Thank you for giving me a chance to present my research project in Thai. Model in development of innovation model learning in the new normal life in College of Public Health. I'm not sure the slide is a work. Maybe I think I should use the PDF because the slide not doesn't work, right? Okay, let me use the PDF file. Okay.
Please start. Any technical issues?
Wait. Okay. Hi. Can you see my slide?
Yes.
Okay. 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 I will give you. Okay. I will start with the introduction and I will end with conclusion. So why study was done? Let me just a little bit give you about the importance of this study. The COVID-19 pandemic has presented an opportunity to rethink as soon about education in university in the light of general crisis and the pandemic class, especially when it comes to remote teaching. Educators from all grades and context experience necessarily think their role and the way of supporting the students' learning charts and image of students as self-organized learner, active citizen, so social agent. We sought to still share some experts advice for campus-based university instructor to adapt online teaching and learning. The instructor have experience and plan and broad version of online learning and teaching. How these experience help bridge the gap between online and on-site over the years. The innovation based learning model in new normal life is unexpected to improve the quality of learning across the developing country, nearby transforming institution high learning become the powerhouse of health innovation. A specific model of health innovation for the students in the College of Public Health from Thailand limit. So the study objective was to develop an innovation based learning in the new normal life for Sinthon Colleges of Public Health students. This is the conceptual framework of my study. The independent variable was innovation-based learning model in the new normal life. The dependent variable were basic knowledge of health innovation, innovation quality, perception of health promotion, creative and innovation skill, instructor quality, and opinion regarding the innovation-based learning model. So let me move on to the methodology. The study conducted at Trang, the southern part of Thailand. This study was a quasi experimental study, one group pretest project design. 45 subjects, including 37 dental students and 8 advisors were recruited. Data collection was completed by focus group discussion and observation and in-depth interview. So this shows the diagram of quantitative and qualitative sampling. There's starting procedure. We have three steps of the procedure. Step 1, preparatory phase. We have a planning and building connection. And step 2, the participant recruitment, a new normal activity design, research assistant training, preparation of material and instrument, and pilot project. And the step 3, we have implement and evaluation step. So the innovation-based learning model in the normal activity, we provide 10 activities that's literature review, community problem, finding, group discussion, brainstorm, proposal writing, reporting, learning by doing, show and share, and innovation contest and reflections. So the picture show the activity that the student done, and this one show the community problem online. This group discussion and brainstorm, and this proposal writing practice, and this one show and this one by learning by doing report, and show and share, innovation contest and reflections. So the data analysis using frequency percentage, mean SD per t-test, one sample t-test, and content analysis. So this study already approved by Sinton College of Public Health committee. So let me move on to the result. The result revealed that after the implementation of innovation-based learning model, the intervention showed a significant on improvement in the overall score of the basic knowledge of health innovation, perception of health promotion, and creative innovation skills. The mean score of overall opinion regarding the innovation-based learning model was observed at the high level. High positive opinions on its structure, innovation-based learning activities. The measurement and access of the student were found high score. Also, this one showed that general data. Almost of them were male, female, and Buddhists use the internet for study. This one showed the creative and innovation score, and this one show a significant higher than target value. Perception or health innovation
Sorry for
and
interrupting.
promotion.
Yeah, please, we have exceeded around 10 minutes. Please try to wind up by 2 minutes.
Okay. Okay. In conclusion, the perspective of advisor and students present that innovation-based learning activity ensure better practical learning ability to create interest and cross-understand. This was effective to objective improve knowledge curves in health innovation for the university student. That's all I want to give you today. Thank you for your attention. Thank you.
I'm Abhinav, I'm a research scholar at Amity School of Economics. So my topic is empirical analysis of effect of financial well-being on retirement.
Recording in progress.
And we're trying to find the aiding rule of financial attitude. Right. Now, the purpose of the study is that ever since the global financial crisis happened, retail investors like you and I are finding that investments are becoming increasingly complex due to complexity of financial instruments. Now you have derivatives, mortgage, unit-linked insurance, bonds, ETFs, etc., and many of us are not even aware of, and they are sold to us very frequently. Now, the study is actually an attempt to see how financial attitude, well-being, and certain selected demographic variables of retirement planning have an impact on the population of NCT Delhi, right? So we are trying to capture here financial decisions, failure in retirement planning, which are attributed to poor financial literacy caused by several behavioral and socioeconomic traits. And further, we are trying to see how is it different between financial attitude and financial well-being. So the research objective is broadly to capture the impact of financial attitude on well-being and retirement planning in an emerging economy like India. And moreover, we are trying to see what is the mediating effects of financial attitude between financial well-being and retirement planning. Now, for this study, what we have done, we have tried the idea of convenience sampling in NCT, where we have taken responses using a self-administered structured questionnaire, and we have majorly tried to make it in English, but for people who are not well versed with, we also try to do it in Hindi by a professional translator, and then we reverse translate it to English. And majority of us, like 482 responses were taken for analysis, and the average age of respondents was 30.9 years with a standard deviation of 9.7, and most of them were educated till graduation level. Some even had post-graduation level. The majority of them, around 68%, had at least graduation and post-graduation level, and income levels were also chosen in a gap of 1 lakh to 5 lakh, 5 lakh to 10 lakh, etc. Right? And only 17.8% of the respondents had income levels of more than 10 lakh. Right? Now, we are in this research trying to look whether constructs that we are using for financial literacy have some sort of influence on socioeconomic and demographic variables. So the sample item, just to give you an idea how the questionnaire look like to capture financial attitude, it's like it is important to set financial goals for future. Whether how much do you agree with it? The same was captured on a Likert scale. Or questions like saving is a nice activity, or something like I can handle a major unexpected expense, right? Or giving a gift for a wedding, birthday, or any occasion would, whether it will put a strain on your finances for that month, right? Similarly, on a similar line, retirement planning was also captured their attitude toward retirement planning, like asking questions, I invest some money in pension and provident fund, or by the time I retire, I'll have sufficient income to ensure the standard of living that I need during retirement. And respondents were asked to give their answers on a Likert scale. 1 strongly agreed, 5 strongly disagreed, and the phase and content validity of construct was tested in the study, and they were examined by, let's say, 4 professors of behavioral finance, 3 management students, and 3 normal students, just to be sure that our survey was well framed and the questionnaire was apt. Now, I will quickly jump to findings. And findings were that financial well-being has a very positive impact on attitude. And just for the audience, I would like to tell the difference between financial attitude and financial behavior. Having a good financial attitude doesn't mean a good financial behavior. For example, if I am a person who says, I like saving money, but I don't actually save at the end of the month, then despite having financial attitude, I might not have a financial behavior. And this is one of the loopholes, or let's say limitations, in a study. What we found out that people who have good financial well-being also tend to have a more positive attitude when dealing with money matters. Now, this could be due to the fact that people with better financial well-being are having surplus funds to avail financial services and financial consultants, while people who do not are not even exposed to this sort of knowledge, right? Now, like I said, research limitations of this study are something that we did not capture financial behavior as much we should have. Also, the aspect of financial knowledge and societal and parental influences, right? Which can also shape somebody's financial well-being. And in the future, we would like to actually capture this. For this study, we use, in fact, PLSM, and probably when we include this, PLSM can be used further. Now, what are the practical implications of this? Once we have found out that this is something that is vital between financial attitude, financial well-being, and retirement planning, it is also indicated that less educated people consider financial well-being more important to developing financial attitude for retirement planning as compared to more. So our financial literacy programs, in fact, can be designed, and investment awareness programs can be designed in such a way that we focus more first on well-being, uh, uh, which actually in turn focuses more on financial attitude. And then we can also highlight in the further of the study how financial behavior can be molded to attain a society that is more literate, that is much better with dealing with money. We see a lot of people who are, in fact, they earn well, but they are not able to actually use their surplus funds without taking into consideration things like inflation, etc. Right? So that was about it. These are the references, and by that, I would like to end my presentation. Thank you.
Cutting edge shape on two lag in end meeting of hardened AMS626 This presentation covers the following content. First, introduction. Second, experimental method. Third, chipping of ball and meat. Fourth, high-speed milling using square and radius end meat. Fifth, selection of optimal cutting edge shape. Sixth, conclusions. AMS626 is US aerospace material specification 6260. This material is composed of nickel, chromium, molybdenum with Fe as the main component. This table shows component ratio AMS626. This material has advantages of high hardenability, high toughness, and high temperature strength. Therefore, this material is used as a material of parts such as gears in aircraft engines in US and so on. This material hardened AMS626 after heat treatment is targeted. The hardness is 62 HRC. The presentation issues of AMS626 is as follows. The most suitable tool shape and cutting conditions, etc. of AMS626 are not clear. Therefore, experimental milling of hardened AMS626 was conducted on an NC milling machine under some rotation speeds and feed rates. Thereby, the effect of the cutting edge shape on the tool life and workpiece was clarified. Furthermore, the cutting edge shape is optimized in 3 cutting edge shapes. In this milling, 3 types of end mills are used. First, as shown in this figure, ball end mills, ball shape in cutting edge shape. Second, square end mill has right angle between cutting edge and side shaft. Third, radius end mill has R shape in cutting edge of square end. This table shows specifications of end mills. The material is 70 carbon. This figure shows the milling method. The end mill is at the tip of the motor spring. The end mill cuts the workpiece. The end mill moves 120 millimeters in the direction of relatively and directly of feed. This process is repeated. After milling, the flank face of end mill is observed using digital microscope. In this study, the tool life is evaluated as follows. First, chipping occurs flank face. Second, tool layer reaches the center of the flank face. Furthermore, the surface roughness area on the bottom of the surface of workpiece using surface roughness measuring machine. The experimental milling of the hardened AMS626 was conducted on an NC milling machine using 3 types of end mill. After that, the flank face was observed at the cutting length of 100 millimeters. This table shows the cutting conditions at first stage. This figure shows the observed result of the flank face. The tip of the ball end mill is damaged and the chipping occurs on the flank face. The flank face of the square end mill and the radius end mill are not damaged and the chipping does not occur. The tip of the ball end mill was damaged at the cutting length of 1.0 millimeters. The reason is as follows. The cutting speed VC is represented by this equation. Here, D is tool diameter, N is rotational speed. Therefore, the cutting speed VC depends on the tool diameter. So, VC at the tip of the tool is always 0, as shown in this figure. Therefore, the milling using a ball end mill tends to put a burden on the tool and cause the chipping at the tip of the tool. The experimental milling was conducted under wet conditions by supplying cutting oil in addition to dry conditions using square end mill and radius end mills. In this case, the rotational speed is changed to 2000 per minute, and feed rate is changed to 0.05 millimeter per piece. This table shows the cutting condition at the second stage. This figure shows the observed result of the flank faces at the cutting length of 100 millimeter and 2000 millimeter using square end mill. As shown in this figure, the face was noticeably damaged and the chipping occurred under both dry and wet conditions. Using the radius end mill, the noticeable chipping did not occur on the flank face using the radius end mill even after milling. This figure shows the measured result of the surface roughness area. The surface roughness under dry conditions using a square end mill is nearly twice as large as that using radius end mill. The accuracy of the cutting edge deteriorates due to the progress of the chipping to the flank face. The milling using 3 types of end mills was conducted at high rotational speed. In this case, rotational speed is changed to 10,000 per minute, and feed rate is changed to 0.01 and 0.0375 millimeter. This table shows the cutting conditions at three sub-stages. This figure shows the observed result of the flank face and the measured surface roughness. The chipping occurs on the flank face using the square end of it, while no noticeable chipping and small tool wear were observed on flank face using the radius end of it. The surface roughness of the workpiece using both square and radius end mills increases when the feed rate increases. When the milling is conducted with the same cutting depth AP, as shown in this figure, the same feed FZ. The cutting speed thickness H2 of the radius end mill is thinner than H1 of the square end mill. In this case, since the chip thickness of a radius end mill becomes thinner, the cutting resistance per unit cutting edge length decreases. The following conclusions are obtained. First, when milling is conducted using a ball end mill, the chipping occurs at the tip of the tool. The radius end mill is less likely to be damaged than the ball end mill and square end mill. Therefore, the tool life of the radius end mill becomes longer. Third, the surface roughness using a radius end mill was smaller than that using a square end mill. The surface roughness does not change significantly comparing dry and wet conditions using a radius end mill when the cutting length is 2,000 millimeters. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, sir, for your very good research work with respect to machine tools.
First of all, thank for giving me the opportunity to make a presentation on an issue which relates to India and the farmers. This research is, I am a PhD student in Terry School of Advanced Studies, and my research guide is Dr. Chubamilna Jamir from Terry School of Advanced Studies, and also Dr. Michael Dynestein from University of Chicago Economics Department, and Sapna Narula from Business Management Department of Nalanda University. This is based on the kind of e-trading platform eNAM that the government of India has introduced in India to ensure that the farmers get the right kind of price realization for their produce. As you know, like in India, the agriculture plays a very dominant role in the economic development, and with almost 56% of the population dependent on agriculture and allied sector, and contributing to almost more than 18% to the GDP. So given the importance of it, so the price realization, price realization is a very, very important phenomena for farmers, because nearly 86% of farmers are small marginal. That is, up to 2 hectares of land, which is very small. So they don't have the economy of scale. So unless the market is effective, efficient, and giving a proper return to them, despite their small lots of produce, so the impoverished will take place, and the motivation to farming will go down. So that is why the government of India has been trying to reform the agriculture market so that the market gives a kind of return. So in one of these attempt of these reforms is the eNAM, e-National Agriculture Market. As you know, in India, we have got about 7,000 physical wholesale markets which are regulated, and they are standalone markets, and where the farmers take their produce, and they are subjected to the kind of exploitation by the traders and the commission agents. Commission agents is an intermediary between the trader and the farmer. They exploit absolutely, and because of the financial power of them, because the farmer has to borrow to do the production and the marketing in advance. So obviously he has to depend on commission agent and the traders. So that is why the physical markets, there is a lot of exploitation, there is a lot of non-transparency. That is why government of India has introduced, though marketing is a state subject, the states have been, so we have got now 1,000 markets. Next slide, please. So we have got about, next slide. So we have got about 18 states and 3 union territories where the 1,000 wholesale physical markets have been integrated on the virtual platform, where the farmers who could only do the trading, who could sell his produce in the nearest APMC market, that is Agriculture Produce Market Committee, that is a regulated wholesale market, he can now access these 1,000 markets from the nearest market that he can do. That means large number of traders can take part bidding in a kind of faceless bidding. So the exploitation and will come down, the transparency will improve, and the competitiveness will improve, the better price realization will improve. So there is a e-payment system, so that the kind of discounting in the payment will not happen. So that is about transparency, about better price discovery, about the competitiveness in the bidding system. So this eNAM is a complex software system with residing in the hardware, where it connects all the market for the bidding process and payment process. So that is these hardwares are in the wholesale markets, and the bidding takes place in the market itself, and even the farmer can take part, anybody can see it from anywhere in India through the mobile app. Next. So, so far we have got about 1.7 crore farmers who are joined in this eNAM trading, with 2.37 lakhs traders and 2318 FPOs. This is one of the biggest today market platform in the world today, with both horizontal and vertical integration happening in this, with almost 2,300 FPOs also trading on this platform. We have so far, it was implemented in 2016, and almost 2,33,000 crore trade has happened in this, and about 6.86 crore metric ton of volume has been traded. Next. So we went through the literature. There is hardly any research in this on this e-trading thing, which is new in India. So there, though we have been talking about doubling of farmers' income, so hardly any field survey or any kind of secondary data has been analyzed on this. So we have undertaken the field survey in this, along with the secondary data analysis through the difference in difference estimation model, to see whether the price realization is better, and whether the dependence on the commission agent has come down, whether the transparency has improved, whether the competitiveness has improved. So next. So next, these are the gaps in the literature. So next. So the question that here we are assessing the eNAM performance vis-a-vis the conventional physical agriculture marketing system of trading in APMC markets. So we are looking at the research questions of impact of eNAM on the bid price of the produce in e-trading in the APMC through eNAM. And the second is impact of eNAM on farmers' dependence on the commission agent, which is very, very important. Lesser the dependence on commission agent, he is more independent. His price realization can also happen better. So let's see if the eNAM is able to give. Next. So our schematic methodology you have given is both secondary data analysis through DID, and as well as the primary survey in the markets itself. Next. So the difference in difference, you have taken the AgmarkNet data, which is about 3,000 wholesale markets data are there. We have picked up all the kind of control market and experimental markets, and have the estimation of the DID of the model prices to see for the chosen commodities whether the prices are better in eNAM as compared to the physical market. So we have used this formula for that particular purpose. Next. Next. So we have also done the primary survey, and the commodities that we have taken. Next. So the wheat, chickpea, mustard, and cumin, and we have chosen Rajasthan because all the 144 markets are now being connected in the eNAM trading. So that's the one we wanted to see how far eNAM has progressed. Next. Given this, because it has a huge socioeconomic impact in India, so that is why this is very important. We have picked up about 11 markets of eNAM that I have already listed out, and we have surveyed 390 farmers in these 11 markets for this this thing, which is geographically also indicated. Now, next. So next. So we have now we have the DID estimation, where we find that the price realization for wheat, mustard, and cumin is positive as compared to the physical market. That means the farmer is getting better price during the harvest period of 90 days than the physical market. So that is something very, very encouraging. Whereas for the gram, we find there is a negative price. That's because it's a processed item, and there is the traders are prefer to directly buy from the better quality produce from the traders rather than coming the enam. So that's probably the one of the explanation we could while talking to the experts. So that is most of the items you could find that there is a beautifully price gain in this e-trading. Next. When you look at this next, so when you look at this, the other issues of if the farmer's ability to see price information on the enam, because it is driven by the mobile app, that you can see any quality of any produce or price of any produce at any given point of time. So you checked up that the price ability to see the price information on enam and the ability of farmer to participate in enam without the help of the commission agent, we found that there is a very positive correlation between the ability to see price information and his participation in enam without commission agent's help. In the physical market, they have to depend totally on the commission agent, but enam they may not depend on the commission agent. Similarly, the ability to see the quality parameters, more they are able to see the quality parameters, strongly they are away from the commission agent's dependency. That means it's something enam is giving a very positive stroke in the entire system, where actually the farmers can be independent of this commission agent, or you can say the middleman, very clearly in there. Similarly, farmers' ability to monitor the bid price in progress for his produce and in the dependence, and he doesn't have to depend. The moment he is able to monitor the bid price in progress, he doesn't have to depend on this. If lesser the if he's not able to monitor it, then he has to depend on that. So that means enam is able to do the kind of thing which is there. So the basic question which is coming up next. But there is if the difficulty level is there to read the information or read the quality, then there is a dependence is increasing. So now another question which is coming, farmers looking for price information before selling the crop through enam mobile app and getting a better price. The farmers have responded very positively. And overall price, they are getting better overall price in the trade in the enam than the physical trade. Similarly, farmers ability to see the quality parameters, if they're able to see the quality parameters on enam, they're also getting not only the bid price as higher, but also the overall price as the higher. There's a very strong correlation happening in that. Similarly, farmer receives overall more amount of price if they're able to see the quality, which is not possible in the physical market, as the quality is totally a kind of black box for in the physical quality. So similarly, difficulty level is also negatively dependent on the farmers. Dependence on the commission agent. If it is more difficult, they have to depend on more on the farmer. So that means one is that if the app is very user friendly, the farmer is able to see in his own language, in his own style, in his own way. So that means he is able to read the information. If he's able to read the quality, so definitely he doesn't have to depend on as per the farmer or as per the DID estimation, the price benefit is already there in enam. So that is why for the government to really make it successful, 1.7 crore farmers have joined. So if you have to, all the farmers are 56 crore, 56% of population are almost farming class. If they have to come in this, so obviously government has to make the software and make the training program very clearly. Next. So in conclusion, I'm saying that enam, which is designed to provide transparent and competitive in bidding system, has the potentiality to provide a better bid value to farmers as compared to the physical trading system. Farmers looking for price information through enam has a better likelihood of exercising option to receive better bid value. Farmers' ability to monitor bid in progress in enam has a very strong correlation with his ability to participate in enam trading without the help of the commission agent. This is very, very important. So more this small and marginal farmers, landless farmers, if he is able to participate without the commission agents, his pricing is he's getting a better pricing. So that is which is very good because of the economy of India. So and reduction of the poverty, improving the income of the farmer. So easiness of operation of enam is very important from the government perspective, which is getting it developed and implementing in more and more. And as in today, another 260 has been added to 1,000 market to making it 1,260. There is no country in the world today which is having so many markets, physical markets, so much of volume being traded in this, and it is growing at a very fast rate. So more easier for the farmer, the more transparent it is, more competitive it is, and the farmers is getting. That is the huge percentage of the farming class is getting out of it. The power is shifting. The social power will be shifting from the money lenders, from the traders, from the commission agent to the poor helpless farmers. So that is what the power of the enam is. So that is what I wanted to tell in this entire thing. Next, so the limitation of the study is that we have only taken to the eight. I mean, in Rajasthan, we have not, out of the 18 states and 3 union territories, we have not gone to the other this thing. Similarly, also only the farmers who have participated in the ENAM, we have surveyed them. 390 farmers we have surveyed. It took us quite a bit of time, but we have surveyed very clearly before doing this DID estimation and this thing. So that's the limitation. Otherwise, this is very clearly showing a direction where the ENAM is leading the country to. Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity. I thank my guide and co-guide for taking this complex research. I'm in the government, but I am also, because I have designed and developed this system and rolling it out. So I have taken up the research to see whether mathematically we are able to see it is happening or it is not happening. Thank you very much. And I wish all the best to all the participants and bring the goodwill of India to all the participants here from the Indian side. Thank you. Thank you, the organizers.
Thank you, sir, for your wonderful presentation.
Everyone. Our research topic is diabetes prediction using different ML models. The author is Ms. Neha Singh and the co-authors are Mansi Sundrial, Anjali Singh and Nancy Bhatti. So the problem statement is as follows. As type 2 diabetes is most common disease in today's society, during this study, we present an approach that makes 4 classifiers, that is random forest classifier, decision tree classifier, a logistic regression model, and the K nearest neighbor model to diagnose diabetes. There are some existing solutions or previous research work that we referred to or compare our study. Now the dataset, we picked the dataset for our trial as we use similar dataset that were used in the sample to compare our result with previous benchmarks or similar standards. This dataset contain 253680 rows and 22 column, and high BP, high cholesterol, BMI, and strokes are some of its attributes. For training and testing our model, we divide the dataset into 70 to 30 ratio respectively, and then we train our 4 model, which are random forest classifier, decision tree classifier, logistic regression, and K nearest neighbor. First is K nearest neighbor algorithm. K is one of the most basic yet essential algorithm in machine learning. It belongs to supervised learning domain and finds intense application in pattern recognition, data mining, and intuition detection. It is widely disposable in real life scenarios since it is non-parametric, as it does not make any underlying assumption about the distribution of data. It makes the set of k nearest data points. Each of these distance correspond to an already classified data points. Here, k is an odd number, so we can calculate a clear majority in case where only 2 groups are possible. In our study, it is diabetic or non-diabetic individual. While with increasing k, we get smoother, more defined boundary across different classification. Also, the accuracy of above classifier increase as we increase the number of data points in the training set. Next one is logistic regression. It is the regression model which predicts probability that is given data entry belong to category number as 1, just like linear regression assumes the data follows linear function. Logistic regression model, the data use sigmoid function, that is fx equals to 1 upon plus 1 plus e to the power minus x. This is the sigmoid function. Logistic regression become a classification technique only when a decision threshold is brought into the picture. The setting of the threshold value is very important aspect of logistic regression and is dependent on the classification problem itself. The decision for the value of the threshold value is the majority effect by its value of precision and recall. Now the decision tree.
Yes, for the decision tree, A decision tree is a classifier with a tree structure that is commonly used to resolve classification problems. Internal nodes represent dataset properties, whereas branches represent decision rules, and the result is represented by each leaf node. The two nodes in the decision tree are the decision node and the leaf node. Decision tree algorithm falls under the category of supervised learning algorithm. It works for both continuous as well as categorical output variables. And the last one we used was random forest algorithm. The basic idea behind random forest is to combine multiple decision trees in determining the final output rather than relying on individual decision trees, as every decision tree has high variance, but when we combine all of them together in parallel, then the resultant variance is low, as each decision tree get perfectly trained on that particular sample data, and hence the output doesn't depend on one decision tree but on multiple decision trees. Now, for the following steps were taken in order to predict diabetes using machine learning. So the first step we took was the data collection. So collecting data from training for training the ML model is the basic step in machine learning pipeline. The predictions made by ML systems can only be as good as the data on which they have been trained. The next step is data pre-processing. Real world raw data and images are often incomplete, inconsistent, and lacking in certain behaviors or trends. They are also likely to contain many errors. So once collected, they are pre-processed into a format that machine learning algorithms can use for the model. And then clustering. In this step, we use k-means clustering on dataset to categorize each patient as diabetic or non-diabetic. And then model building. This is the most significant step, which includes the development of diabetes prediction models. We applied multiple machine learning techniques for diabetes prediction in this. Random forest classifier, decision tree classifier, logistic regression, and k nearest neighbors are among the algorithms used, as we have discussed it. And then, the last step is evaluation. We evaluate forecast outcomes using several matrices such as classification accuracy, confusion matrix, and F1 score. For our result, we can see that by implementing multiple machine learning algorithms, the highest accuracy that we got was from random forest classifier and was 91.47%, followed by KNN, which gave us 82.02% accuracy. And then we have logistic regression with 72.78%, and then lastly decision tree classifier with 70.06%. And the second table is the comparison between accuracies of PIMA dataset and the CDC diabetes dataset. CDC diabetes dataset is the dataset that we used in our paper, and this is the confusion matrix for random forest classifier. Like 85% is the true positive, and then 15% is false positive, 4% is false negative, and 96% is true negative. This is the comparison graph. And then conclusion, we have that after applying 4 different algorithms, we got that the highest accuracy we got was from random forest classifier, and the accuracy was 90.47%. When compared to the existing dataset, the model clearly boosts diabetes prediction, both precision and accuracy. This study can be expanded to determine how likely a non-diabetic individual is to develop diabetes in the coming years. And then these are some of the references that we referred to while writing this paper. And thank you so much. That's all from our side.
Thank you for listening.
Okay, good morning, everyone. I am a PhD student from University Mohammed Zain of Rabat. I will present my article entitled Simplified Thermal Analysis of CubeSat for Different Panel Combination. My presentation should follow this plan, started by an introduction, a thermal environment, CubeSat thermal control, and finish with the conclusion. Okay, so as we know, the nanosatellites, including CubeSat, are become more and more common in the aerospace sector due to their inexpensivity, low risks on orbit testbed, as the need for increasingly complex spacecraft choices. The CubeSat are a subclass of nanosatellite that have a mass of around 1.33 kilogram, are made up of a multiple of 10 centimeter by 10 centimeter by 10. Additionally, the CubeSat are offered in a range of size from 1U to 6U. A nanosatellite consists of two main components. The first is the payload, which is determined by the satellite mission. The second is the platform, which is composed of several subsystems, including those for guidance, navigation and control, command, and data handling, communication, structure, propulsion, thermal management, and the electrical power system. The objective of this article is to study a CubeSat in low Earth orbit to present a simplified thermal analysis of structure of space with the various panel combinations. To define the thermal control, the space thermal environment is characterized by difficult conditions, vacuum, lower pressure, atomic oxygen, extreme temperature. And each subsystem of nanosatellite require a precise temperature margin to ensure their operation during the operational period of the nanosatellite. So the thermal control has the main goal is to keep the temperature of every component of the engine within the permitted operational ranges during the entirety of the mission. The special now we will define the special environment. A suitable thermal design ensures the space engine's dependency in carrying out its task despite variation in the environment it encounters in orbit, such as its contribution from the sun, the earth, the albedo, and the impact of full and solar eclipses, as we can see in the future. So to relative temperature stability and reduce radiance, it's also necessary to consider the thermalization of internal components. To determine the temperature, we should calculate the three radiation. As you can see, the solar radiation by this equation is dependent of the solar intensity, the surface, the absorptivity, and the angle between the sun and the panel of the cube. The albedo radiation is dependent on the view factor of the albedo, the intensity of sun, the surface, and the absorptivity of the material. The Earth infrared radiation is dependent on the Earth, the view factor, and the surface. In our case, our university nanosatellite is 3 CubeSat developed to transmit data for various communication applications, such as the IDBS, IS, and IoT, due to his equipment in the SDR. SDR is the software-defined radio and antennas as main payload. This CubeSat is functional in the orbit of 600 kilometers. To do this analysis, we adopt this assumption. We consider the CubeSat as 6 nodes. Each side is for one node, and we consider 2 cases for the study. The first called case and the worst case. We have difference in the solar flow, with the minimum and the maximum solar flow, the coefficient of the albedo factor, and the internal dissipation. To calculate this flux, we have to do a code in MATLAB, but before we need to import some important parameters of angles and solar intensity. These parameters are input from STK software. As we can see in the video, the CubeSat changed the orientation, so a lot of angles change the value. This software helps us to have the exact value of these angles. After calculating the temperature with the code, MATLAB code, we have the results as we can see in the screen. Each table presents the temperature minimum and maximum for the sides, for the 4th side. And for the fourth cases, the first table presents the case 14, which we consider 40% for structure and 60% for solar cells. The second case presents the result for the case for 30% structure and 70% for solar cells. The third presents 20% for structure and 80% for solar cells. And the last one presents the results, temperature minimum and maximum for results of 10% structure and 90% for solar cells. As we can conclude that the temperature varies between minus 109.6 and 65.8, and generally they respect the operational and the survival limits for the structure and the solar cells. So we can conclude that after this actually presents the results of the thermal analysis of nanosatellites in orbits of 600 kilometers with various panel combination. And the main objective of this analysis is to verify that all the components are operational in their limits with the available thermal power. Thank you for your attention. And as we can, if you have any question, we can contact me as my personal email. Thank you.
Thank you, Naaman, for your wonderful presentation.
Gen Z's use of mobile technology and social media in a developing country. The case of Thailand, I come from Kasetsart University, Thailand. There are 5 topics here. The first one is introduction. It should be acknowledged that the past research on digital technology and social media usage by Gen Z, Generation Z, mostly focus on developed and Western countries. And in other words, studies of Gen Z's behavior in developing countries have been fewer addressed in extant literature. Gen Z's consumers are people who were born after 1995 onwards. They are labeled as digital natives as they are driven by technology and digital media almost from birth. So from managerial perspective, they will be a group of customers when they enter the workforce, and their spending and purchase power increase. So a better understanding of their needs and behavior is required. And in this research, I focus on Thailand because it has like increasing share of Gen Z's populations and rapid technology diffusion. Right? For 2020, there are only about 20.6% for Gen Z or after Gen Y people, right? But for 2030, they will be up to 41.5%. Therefore, the purpose of this study is to investigate the relationship between Gen Z's use of social media and technology sophistication with mobile technology. Moreover, subgroup of Generation Z's consumers are expected to respond to the active use of social media and mobile technology. In other words, I will explore the within generations as well. Therefore, this study bridged the research gap in digital marketing and consumer behavior fields by examining Gen Z's communication technology usage behavior in a developing country. It also distinguished between the effects of population within generation, the underexplored area in the related fields. The next part is literature review. For social media usage, Social media is defined as any online service through which user can create or share a variety of content. They include SNS like online journals, online games, video sharing sites, online rating, review forums, online community groups, and according of real-time omnibus research, Gen Z people in Thailand currently use YouTube, Facebook, Line, IG or Instagram, and TikTok respectively. So, for example, they use YouTube as a key source of entertainment and seek information through audio or video instead of through printed materials or text. And they spend more time on Instagram or IG and TikTok compared to other generations. They prefer posting pictures or videos on IG and watching the podcast as well, following the movements of their favorites on TikTok. Technology solution with mobile technology. The mobile industry is the fastest growing industry in communications industry and is one of the fastest moving industries in the world. In Thailand, there were 120.9 million mobile subscribers, accounting for 187% of total population in 2021. And the past research indicates that the main users of mobile technologies are young middle-aged people. Gen Z's, since Generation Z was referred as people who were born after 1995, so the age of Gen Z in this study is below 20 years of age. And people in surveys include children, teens, and undergraduate students. Therefore, within generation differences could be found. For example, while the spending of younger Gen Zers involves toy, video games, comics, collecting cars, and clothing, the older Gen Zs purchase digital devices, studies, entertainment, hobbies, cosmetics, and grocery. And according to Bolton and his colleague, most studies of generational cohorts do not distinguish between the effects of age and population within cohorts. Therefore, I propose two hypotheses. They are H1, technological sophisticated Generation Z consumers will exhibit active social media usage. H2, subgroups of Generation consumers respond differently to the active use of social media and technology sophistication by technology. For research methodology, a quantitative survey was adopted using questionnaires. The sample of Gen Z included people aging range between 12 to 20 years of age, 23 years of age. And the sampling method was convenient sampling with screening question. Finally, 373 usable questionnaires were collected. And these are measurement items I borrowed from the past study. For the first variable, active user of social media, there are 3 items to measure this variable. And the next one, technology sophistication with mobile technology, right? This construct has 7 items borrowed from Zhang and his colleagues in 2017 for data analysis and the finding of the study. For reliability and validity analysis, the values of factor loadings of all items were ranging from 0.8 to 0.92, significantly greater than 0.7. So this data analysis supported convergent validity. For internal consistency or reliability analysis, the value of coefficient alpha of active user of social media and mobile technology were 0.88 and 0.7 or 0.97 respectively. greater than the recommended value of 0.7. And overall model fit of this research framework was examined using SEM, right, structural equation modeling via MOS. And the model fit results were like chi-square per degree of freedom, 2.238, and all model fit values are greater than 0.9 for all like GFI, CFI, and TLI, and I have like lower RMC, right, lower than 0.1. So it suggests that this structural model had a good fit. And based on the SEM results, H1 was significantly supported. The beta coefficient between Gen Z's active user of social media and technology sophistication was 0.89, and p-value is less than 0.05, so indicating the tech-savvy Generation Z consumer exhibit active social media usage. Then the result was consistent with the previous studies, showing that Gen Z rely on technology and stay connected. To test S2, this study divided Gen Z based on age. Accordingly, based on the median value of the age range of 12 to 23, the first group was Gen Zers who were 12 to 17, the younger group, and the older group, the aging before from 18 to 20 years of age. So the different, according to Sang, the difference of chi-square test can be used to test a multi-group analysis by comparing a structural model for two groups, the younger group and the older group. And these the findings of the comparison of subgroups of Gen Z consumers. Group 1 is the younger group, 12 to 7 years, and group 2 is the older group, 18 to 23. And the chi-square test showed that the effects of technology, sophistication of mobile technology on heavy user of social media between subgroups of younger group and older groups of Gen Z was basically different. Therefore, H2 is supported. For conclusions and implication of this study from the findings, tech-savvy Gen Z consumers exhibit social media uses. Then company could focus on information sharing via social media channels and mobile applications to grab like Gen Z's attention. And to communicate with them, marketers should focus more on digital advertising through social media and mobile apps. And according to like the H2 result, each group within responds differently to the social media and mobile technology uses. So business should develop the product, service, and experience and communications that respond to each segment's need appropriately. For instance, the older group not only stay connected, right, from this one, from in value, right, the older group, right, they are active user of social media than the younger group, including use mobile technology. Then business could bring this group into the interactive marketing process by letting them products or service and share with others via social media. And for future recommendations, since the study focused on a specific Gen Z's, future study can compare among cohorts. And the present study was conducted in a specific country, Thailand. Cross-country studies in developing economies might be examined, and other methods such as experiment and qualitative study could be utilized to observe actual behaviors. And for acknowledgement, this research is supported by Kasetsart Business School, Kasetsart University, Thailand. Thank you. And this is my email if anyone has questions.
Thank you for your full presentation.
So, good morning, everybody. I am Lego from University of Mostaganem, Algeria, and I am presenting this work in collaboration with Professor Deep Zahira and engineer Bouchlagam Soumia. The work is about modeling and simulation of smart grid, smart microgrid in the university campuses of Tlemcen in Algeria. So for introducing the subject, we know that population is being growth very fastly, and the demand of energy is very high, and the pressure is very high on the main power grid. Because of that, we need to design microgrids, because microgrids can be autonomous, can be decentralized, have decentralized management, and we use green energy sources for avoiding the oil, using oil and some other energy. So what's a microgrid? A microgrid is an independent power network, and it can be in a relationship with the main grid, or it can be work in an autonomous manner. The microgrid can be a very low capacity, so less than 2 megawatt, and we can find some microgrids higher than 20 megawatt. So we can classify the microgrids in two types, IC microgrid or DC microgrid, based on its applications. The advantages of DC microgrid or IC microgrid are based on the load. For example, if we have DC loads, or we have microgrids with PV sources, we can take a lot of advantage for DC microgrids, or we can have a hybrid microgrids, AC, DC. So it depends on the load, and both of them are very have a very benefits in for the users. So we have a lot of users and particular load, such as, excuse me, university campuses, military bases, hospitals, and remote area in desert, for example. And it's why we have chosen the university campus of Tlemcen for designing a microgrid to feed the university campus in an autonomous manner, so we can ensure electrical service and create a cost-effective energy supply. So we have taken these campuses in Algeria, in the west, on the extreme west of Algeria, because the university consumes a lot of energy. And in fact, it's a university of powers, so water and green energy university. So it's why it is very interesting to design these microgrids there. So this is the case study. This is the university campuses of Powers building. So we have to design a simple, smart DC microgrid here. So for this purpose, we have achieved some collect of data, of meteorological data, of consumption data, etc., for designing this microgrid. So we have achieved a demand side management. Then we have sizing this microgrid. After simulation and control, we have some results to present. So we have here our research approach with sizing analysis, energy analysis, financial analysis, and uncertainty analysis, and different scenario to show all the cases study. So this is the demand side management of this building with classrooms and admin and offices. So this is the data collected, the consumption data with the lamps, offices equipment, air conditioning, and laptop, desktop, and projector. So this is the summary of this conception. And we see that in this hall, where there is the data center, we notice the consumption. And this is the load curve for a normal day of working. It's a normal, the normal form of curve of any energy with a peak of energy at between 8 o'clock and 5 p.m. For meteorological data, we know that Algeria is a very sunny area. So we have used for the design of our microgrids a system with PV panels and diesel generator, and for obviously storage means. So this is our microgrid, and this is a Google Earth view for the building. So we have to install the PV panels on the top of the building. It's why we need the sunshine irradiation and the area, the surface area of our building. For the next step, we have to sizing the project, and we have to see the economic demand of this project. So this is the second step, and the third, in the final step, we will do an economical, after simulation and control, an economical study. So this is the simulation of all the microgrid. So we have introduced the data, meteorological data, and the sizing of the boost for have the DC energy. So this is the form of the voltage of the PV panel, and the block battery is simulated like this by MATLAB Simulink, of course. The block generator, and this is all the global configuration with our load and the solar area, PV panels, excuse me, and the energy storage, the battery. So this is the result on the load demand, the batteries state of charge, and the microgrid voltage. So here we show that there is a lack in frequency in this when the microgrid feed the in this precise instant. And here we know we see in the yellow here, yellow and blue, the total power and the battery when we use the battery for feeding the microgrid. Excuse me. So here we can see that the microgrid have a good response to the demand law, and in perspective we will do that. So we will install this microgrid effectively and compare the data with our study. Thank you for your attention, and you're welcome if you have some questions. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your presentation, ma'am. Very nice research.
Good afternoon to all the audience. My name is Suchinda Chakawachot, and today I would like to present you about effect of transverse isotopy on tensile strength and elastic property of Phupan sandstone by 4-point bending test. Here is our live session for today. I'm going to present you with 5 main topics. Firstly, I will talk about introduction. Next is research objective, drug sample, apparatus and method, test result, and the last is discussion and conclusion. Let's begin with introduction. Sedimentary and metamorphic rocks normally show well-defined structure in form of bedding plane, foliation, stretching, or fissuring. Different orientation of bedding plane have influence on rock strength and elastic property. In underground opening, rock tensile strength dictates the maximum root span and its stability. Tensile strength is usually obtained from Brazilian test, direct tension test, ring tension test, and bending test. 4-point bending test is, however, more appropriate for root span analysis because the pattern is similar to that of root span in underground opening. The effect of transverse isotopy on tensile strength and elastic parameter on rock under 4-point bending test has already been studied. This knowledge are needed for the analysis and design of root span under transverse isotopic effect. The objective of this study is to determine tensile strength and elastic property of Phupan sandstone under transverse isotopic effect. Next is to compare mechanical property of Phupan sandstone under different orientation of bedding plane, and the last is predict elastic parameter of transverse isotopic material from Amody solution. Look at the rock sample. The specimens are prepared from Phupan sandstone formation and cut to obtain prismatic block with nominal dimension of 30 by 30 by 200 cubic millimeter. The specimens are dividing into two tests at this configuration. Test 1, bedding plane parallel to main axis, and test 2, bedding plane normal to main axis. For both cases, bedding plane are rotated around X and Z axis respectively. Bedding plane orientation for both cases are varied from 0 to 90 degrees. A total of 13 specimens have been prepared in this study. Four-point bending test is performed by ASTM D6272 standard. Loading is applied to the specimen through a spherical bearing at a rate of 0.1 megapascal anti-earlier occur. Strain gates are installed at the midsection on top and bottom of the specimen surface and parallel and perpendicular to main axis to measure compressive and tensile strain. The compressive and tensile strain induced at top and bottom surface respectively. Compressive and tensile strain for four-point bending test can be calculated as follows. Look at the test result. After testing stock specimen under different bedding angles show mode of failure at midsection between two loading points as shown in this figure. This diagram shows tensile strength as a function of bedding angle for both cases. The result indicates that bending tensile strength are highest when bedding plane make an angle of 0 degree with loading direction and gradually decrease to lowest value at 90 degrees. For case 1, bending tensile strength is larger than that from case 2. This diagram shows elastic moduli as a function of angle for both cases. The result indicates that tensile and compressive elastic moduli for case 1 are greatest when bedding plane parallel to loading direction at 90 degrees. For case 2, tensile and compressive elastic moduli are greatest at 0 degree and lowest at 90 degrees. For both cases, the compressive and elastic moduli are higher than tensile elastic moduli. This diagram shows Poisson ratio as a function of bedding angle for both cases. The result indicates that maximum Poisson ratio under both conditions for case 2 are far at 90 degrees and slightly decrease to minimum value at 0 degree. For case 1, Poisson ratio are lowest value at 90 degrees and slightly increase to highest at 0 degree. For both cases, the Poisson ratio under convection are higher than those under tension. The test result can be used to analyze elastic parameter of transverse isotopic material. This analysis can be used by Amadi solution. The required data are intrinsic elastic parameter for bedding angle of 0 and 90 degrees. The alternate analysis are compared with data tests to predict behavior of transverse isotopic material. Discrepancy between data test and prediction can be identified mean miss values. Modulus and Poisson ratio for transverse isotopic material can be calculated as follows. A22 and A23 can be obtained as follows. This diagram shows polar plot comparing the apparent elastic moduli from data test and Amadi predicted line under different bedding plane angle. When comparing apparent elastic modelling from data test and Amadi predicted line, you can be seen that the apparent elastic modelling for both tests are slightly discrepancy. This agree well with mean misfit a question. This diagram shows polar plot comparing the apparent Poisson ratio from data test and Amadi predicted line. The Poisson ratio under tensile state are less than half of those measured under compressive state. Both tests show similar Poisson ratio values. The bending plane anchor has small effect on Poisson values. Finally, I will go on to talk about discussion and conclusion. Results from this study can be summarized as follows. First, bending tensile strength is highest when bending plane are normal to loading direction. Next is lowest tensile strength of sandstone occur when bending plane lie in parallel to loading direction and having angle equal to 90 degrees. Elastic mobility and Poisson ratio under tension are lower than those in compression. For both conditions, bending plane parallel to loading direction in z-axis keep lowest elastic mobility and gradually increase to greatest values when bending plane are rotated around x-axis at 90 degrees. And the last is Poisson ratio under both conditions seem to be insensitive to the bending plane angle. This work was supported by Suratnari University of Technology and Thailand Science Research and Innovation permission to publish this paper is carefully acknowledged. I would like to end the presentation here. Thank you for listening.
Well, thank you for your presentation.
Vidyarani Sharma. I'm from the Department of Mass Communication, Manipur University. The aim of the present study is to analyze the issues related to Loktak Lake and other wetlands of Manipur as they are facing environmental degradation. Another aim is to study the coverage of these issues in the programs of some radio and television channels of Manipur, namely the All India Radio Impal, Doordarshan Manipur, ISTV, Impact TV in the recent past from the environmental perspective, and the action plan taken up by the government to save the Loktak Lake. The Loktak Lake is a freshwater lake located in the Barak-Chinlin River basin in the Indo-Burma biodiversity hotspot, and it is the largest natural freshwater lake in Northeast India. Besides having a strong cultural and aesthetic bond with people of Manipur since time immemorial, the lake plays a great role in maintaining ecosystem services such as water storage, flood mitigation, water purification, stabilization of local climate conditions. The Loktak Lake provides the source of livelihood to more than 3 lakh people living in the vicinity of the lake. It is called the lifeline of Manipur. It is one of the most productive ecosystems in the world. It provides the source of water for generation of hydroelectric power and for irrigation. It also provides habitat for various food plants. It also provides fishing ground for the local people. This is a major component of the Manipuri diet, so fishing is very important. It also provides fuel, fodder, medicines, and for recreational activities. Loktak Lake supports rich floral and faunal biodiversity, including the brow-antlered deer sangai of the Kaibulamjong National Park, which is the only floating national park in the world. Manipur also gets 12% share of the electricity generated by National Hydroelectric Power Corporation from the Loktak Lake. So the lake is facing degradation, and the reasons for the degradation are the Loktak Hydropower Project and Ithai catchment area degradation, urbanization, and developmental activities. The Loktak Hydropower Project was commissioned in 1983 for maintaining water at a particular level for the hydropower project. The National Hydroelectric Power Corporation constructed a barrage at the confluence of two rivers near Ithai village known as Ithai Barrage. After the construction of this barrage, large swaths of fertile agricultural lands got inundated. Actually, the Loktak Hydropower Project was supposed to irrigate 24,000 hectares of land, but it ended up inundating 50,000 to 80,000 hectares of land. And the water level is now permanently high, and the Pumdis, which is the heterogeneous mass of vegetation, soil, and organic matter, is dying and decomposing. The Kaibulamjau National Park itself is a Pumdi, and it's the habitat of the endangered sangai. The thinning of the Pumdis threatens the survival of the sangai. The Ithai Barrage has also blocked the route of migratory fish coming into the lake from Myanmar, inducing sharp drop in the fish population of Loktak and adjoining lakes. Also, incidences of floods have increased after the construction of Ithai Barrage. Catchment degradation is also one of the threats to Loktak Lake. And the reasons for the catchment degradation are zoom cultivation, which is also known as shifting cultivation or Sweden cultivation, extensive deforestation, and unscientific land use practices. The area under shifting cultivation is expanding in the hills due to increase in population, which has resulted in soil erosion. Shifting cultivation alone accounts for 28% of the overall soil loss from the degraded catchment. Also, the use of fertilizer has increased since the area is not increasing and the population is increasing, which has significantly contributed to pollution in several water bodies. A total of 36 rivers and big streams and little streams end up in Loktak. So pollution of the various water bodies causes pollution of Loktak. Urbanization and various developmental activities have also increased pollution level of Loktak. Urbanization has led to shrinkage and fragmentation of wetlands and has also resulted in loss of biodiversity. Wetlands have been fragmented due to their conversion into human settlements and agricultural lands. And huge amount of urban waste and toxic pollutants end up in water bodies due to lack of adequate facility for sewerage and solid waste management in Manipur. Now, media coverage of any issue always contributes in shaping policy discourses as well as public understanding, identifying problems and putting them before the public for debate or discussion, leading to better participation in important decisions. So I've studied the programs of four media, 1 radio channel, and 4 TV channels. Doordarshan Manipur is the state public broadcaster, and it is the only channel with with an environmental program, with a program exclusively dedicated to environment, and it has covered some of the topics related to wetlands in its program Eco Manipur. Eco Manipur is a magazine program. Sometimes it also airs documentaries. Information Service Television is a private cable TV channel in Manipur. It doesn't have a program exclusively dedicated to environment, but it usually discusses environmental programs in its current and affairs analysis program Discussion Hour, which is broadcast at 8 p.m. every night. Whenever any environmental issues are in news, these are discussed in Discussion Hour. These are some of the programs that were discussed in the show Discussion Hour: Loktak Livelihood Mission, conservation of Loktak Lake, wetlands of Manipur linked to livelihood and climate change. And the format of the program is panel discussion, where multiple subject experts are invited. Another cable TV news channel, Impact News, also does coverage of environmental news. And these are some of the programs that were discussed in the recent year. Commission or keeping of Ibaraj, World Wetland Day, demarcation of Loktak Lake. But these private channels mostly deal with environmental programs when the World Wetland Day is around or Loktak Day is around. The All India Radio does environmental shows on their science program in the form of talks, interviews, and dramatized radio serials. And these are some of the radio serials that were broadcast in the recent past. Tatlako Hayingsu, Pamangal, these are some of the serials that were dedicated to environment. Also, the All India Radio has done some programs in their science programs on wetlands and World Wetland Day. The government took up some short-term action plan for the protection of the lake in 2009. The main targets of the action plan were removal of Kumdi, water management and improvement of water quality, reducing the inflow of silt into the lake, catchment conservation, biodiversity conservation, sustainable resource development, and livelihood project management. The action plan was largely successful in accomplishing its objectives. Recently, the government has come up with two developmental projects in the lake area. These are the Loktak Inland Waterways Improvement Project and the Loktak Mega Tourism Project. But the fishermen have challenged these projects at the Manipur High Court, since these projects are likely to benefit only the moneyed people and leave them high and dry. Considering the historical, legendary, economic and environmental importance and significance of the Loktak Lake, the efforts and contributions of the TV and radio channels of Manipur are not sufficient, since the programs are too far and too distant. More than 3 lakhs of people living in and around the vicinity of the lake are dependent on it for food, vegetable, seed, fodder, and it is home to many flora and fauna. So further action plan has been taken up by the state government, and members of the local clubs and organizations are more concerned about the protection of the lake than the government officials. With that, I come to the conclusion of the paper. Thank you.
Thank you for your wonderful presentation,